Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my review for the 6th episode of Season 2 of Stargirl titled Summer School Chapter 6. The description for the episode says Cindy and her new team make their move against the JSA, which leads to an epic showdown, and that description told no lies. Not only was that an epic showdown, this was probably the best episode of Stargirl ever. First, Cindy's new ISA finally revealed themselves to the JSA, starting with Isaac, who showed up at Yolanda's restaurant, was a total asshole reminding her that he saw her nudes, and then revealed that he knew the JSA were involved in his parents' deaths. Meanwhile, Artemis went after Beth, and I can't believe I hadn't seen the parallels between their perfect families falling apart. Even though her parents were criminals, Artemis's family truly loved each other, but now they're locked up. Artemis was jealous of Beth, but no matter what image they tried to put up, Beth's family was never perfect. I was so glad Beth told her dad they value work more than their family, more than their daughter. It's a toxic trait that's always been there, and it's honestly another form of neglect. Next, Cindy finally went after Mike, wearing yet another great outfit, and I thought he would be mad that he was working with Zeke instead of Pat and joined Cindy, but the big plot twist was that Cindy never wanted him on her team. In fact, she thinks he's useless just like Pat, and only planned on using him as bait. I should have seen this coming after last episode, but I mean, she's kinda right. That's why I thought he would be ECLIPSO's host. Pat and Courtney had been going through Paul's paintings from last episode when Cam walked in all grumpy, asking if they knew what happened to Paul. It's kinda convenient that Pat found a painting of Cindy looking as amazing as always, just so Cam could reveal that she's back in town. We didn't get any follow-up on his powers, but I'm guessing he's gonna get mad at Courtney for ditching him again, cause she and Pat left after realizing Cindy has the diamond. Artemis and Isaac were waiting to attack Pat at the garage. I just love that the sound waves are supposed to be what hurts people, but it looks like Pat was covering his ears from how badly Isaac plays the violin. I also love the parallels to Pat's fight with Artemis's dad last season, and yet again, I'm wondering how Pat didn't end up dead. Isaac did want to kill him, but Artemis stops him because he's friends with Croc, and we know how much he loves her dad. But that didn't stop her from destroying Stripe. Cindy called Courtney to tell her that she had Mike and to meet her at school, and we learned that ECLIPSO was gonna feed on the kids. Cindy looked so done with him. Courtney was worried about doing this without Pat, so Barbara gave her a pep talk, and I was hoping she'd say, "Go kill that bitch," but at least she said kick her ass. The team showed up at school, and I do not appreciate Rick's disrespect towards Cindy, implying that the ISA looked like losers. I had a feeling this was gonna be great the moment the violin music started playing, like during that cliffhanger last season with Isaac's mom, but I wasn't ready for the best fight scene of the whole show. In fact, it might be the best in the Arrowverse. We got Shiv versus Stargirl rematch, Wildcat versus the Fiddler, and Our Man versus Sports Tigress. I guess the transitions, like from Courtney to Yolanda, oh my god, those were amazing. Even Beth got in on the fight, using the goggles to distract Artemis and find Mike, so suck it, Beth haters that say she shouldn't be in the field. As badass as she is, it's just weird how Artemis didn't die. Does this girl have powers? Cause how can she keep up with Rick, and the way he was throwing her should have killed her. Does her whole family have powers? Cause last season her parents were throwing people around like they're Clark and Smallville. Once the ISA were losing, Cindy took out the diamond, but Barbara called in backup, so the Shade appeared asking for the diamond. ECLIPSO finally had enough of this shit and took over Cindy's body once more. As he fought the Shade, it seems like Courtney thought she could destroy the diamond and kill ECLIPSO with the light from the staff, since that's how she defeated Paintball, but instead it destroyed the diamond, freeing ECLIPSO. She was already blaming herself for Pat being attacked earlier, so I'm curious how this is gonna affect her going forward, cause it's her fault ECLIPSO's free. She's indirectly responsible for anyone that he kills, but it's also Pat's fault for keeping secrets and letting her believe that the light could defeat ECLIPSO. ECLIPSO revealed his true form, and he's gross. I see the Ivan Ooze comparisons, but I think he looks great. He jumped out of the 80s comics, just more demon-like, which takes inspiration from the modern version, but the show is known for being true to the classics. My only problem is that there's a bit too much going on around the waist area, which is also my only problem with Cindy's suit. Speaking of Cindy, she was ready to beat his ass for betraying her, but ECLIPSO tore out her blade from her arm, used it to kill Isaac, and then fed on him. Artemis got out of there, which probably sets up that she's gonna join the JSA later. I just wish Cindy had joined her, cause ECLIPSO threw a shard of the diamond at her, absorbing her into the floor. The way that Courtney tried to save her, and it all happened by the place where they first met in the pilot. Jeff Johns, you were never seen heaven. I might just be stuck in the first stage of grief, but I feel like the fact that we didn't see Cindy being disintegrated like Isaac means that she might be stuck in the Shadowlands with Charles McNider and possibly Obsidian. Then we could get a journey into the Shadowlands episode where they go in to save them and trap ECLIPSO there, cause ECLIPSO did tell the Shade that he comes from the Shadowlands, so his powers can't hurt him. He beat him and Courtney so easily. I knew it was foreshadowing when Courtney asked the staff if it would ever leave her in the first episode. I'm guessing this is how Sylvester comes in, cause they're gonna need his help to repair it. Finally, I was wondering how it would affect Mike that he's so useless that even the bad guys didn't want him, and it led to him telling Pat that he wants his own Stripe. Then ECLIPSO turned back into little Bruce Gordon and ran into the night free to roam the town. I definitely see the Nightmare on Elm Street influence now. Overall, this episode was absolutely amazing. Every single moment, perfection, the best episode of the whole show. Rick definitely wasn't lying when she said this was the biggest episode they've ever done. We waited so long for an action scene other than Courtney versus Jenny, and they made up for it with all the horror elements, but it was so worth the wait. It was just so cinematic, just pure perfection. And then the ECLIPSO scene, the only thing I can compare it to is when Zoom first showed up and broke Barry's back in The Flash, but that times a million. This fiend was killing children and feeding on them. There's no way anyone can say the CW ruined Stargirl anymore, because this was amazing beyond anything in season 1. I did have some small problems, like some cringy lines at the beginning, the fact Artemis didn't die fighting Rick, and of course my own bias over Cindy, cause why does the CW keep doing this to me? They always take my favorites away. I'm still not over Lexa and Laurel, and now this, yes, shows need deaths for stakes, but not Cindy, we already had Isaac. I did feel bad for him though, and I'm glad they pointed out that he was just a troubled kid. Once again, it's the difference between bad and evil, and Rick has no right to call him evil, he was the same as him last season. But that scene where ECLIPSO killed him felt like the comics when ECLIPSO killed Beth and Yolanda, which gives me hope that this was adapting that so we won't lose Beth and Yolanda. Now that Jeff Johns took Cindy from me, Yolanda Montes better be safe. As much as I'm complaining, even Cindy's death looked like something straight out of the Stars and Stripes comics. Everything in the show is just amazing. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Leave your thoughts on the video or episode in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Goodbye.